That could work.
That's what you're telling me.
Are you good there, Eddie?
We'll get deep. Really deep. Inner peace.
Ready.
I was thinking, anybody who's sat through Hangover 2 knows sequels can be pretty rough at times, and I don't know for you, given that the love that was out there for Kung Fu, the first Kung Fu Panda, whether there was a sense of a challenge here, because it is a tough one, and I love the movie, I should say, but it's a tough one to make sequels that work.
Wait a second. Are we going?
1 second.
Oh,
You need
okay.
to repeat that question, I think, mate.
Okay,
happy,
maybe.
Andy? Just come out a bit for us, mate.
It's your shirt. It was creating a glare. They have to refocus and put a new lens on.
Yeah,
Cool.
thank you.
Sorry, mate. When
That's
you're
all right, no worries, son. I was thinking, is anyone
Wait a
who's...
second. Now are we good to go? Are we really going now?
rolling it.
Can you feel it? I can feel it. I can feel
And-
that we're in the moment.
Action.
Action. I was thinking anybody who sat through Hangover 2 will know this, that sequels are tough, and thankfully this movie works very, very well, but I thought maybe for you, would there be any kind of fear that we just don't quite reach the parts that the first movie reached?
Of course, whenever you do a good movie, you wanna stay true to the original intent and honor the first one's greatness, and that's why I wanted to make sure that this one was at least as good as the first one. And when the writers came to me with the concept for this one, I was excited about it right away. I thought it was really clever the way that they took Poe on the next leg of his journey.
I'm quite a cynical person, so when I say I did like this, I really did like it. I think it's very, very sweet, very funny, almost Kung Fu Hustle good. It has a certain tempo to it. But looking at the kind of research on it, then you get the business side, which is, I know it opened in 9 of its 11 international territories. It opened at number 1. It broke records, did 55 million out there in the big bad world. In America, over 4 days, it did 62 million. And yet you still get, because of the nature of the business, there has to be this sort of what it measures against other movies or against the previous one. And I don't know whether that side of it kind of enters your head, given the level of success that you're at, that you kind of have to think about box office or have to think about how the business is working.
Yeah. Well, it does. It enters my head only in that if there's going to be more opportunities to do more Kung Fu Panda, which I love to do. It's like if you're doing a television series, you're rooting for it to continue if you love it, So you want it to do well just so that you can keep on rocking in that way. So, yeah. But, there's still a lot more to go. Hopefully it'll be a big hit.
I was thinking one of the lines here is that anything is possible when you have inner peace. This is said by the Yoda-like Dustin Hoffman's rodent Shifu. And I would think that there's a sort of inner peace in you now, because I know since getting married and having your 2 young boys, and your life has sort of shifted gear where you just seem a bit more content. You said in The Guardian recently that you don't feel alone, that years of sort of being out there and having fun, there's still a side of you that always sort of recognizes it now, that settling down and having kids and having a family is bliss. I don't know if you feel like you're in a different part of your life now, a different kind of...
I definitely feel like, the days of going out and partying into the wee hours have passed. I've got a lot of good times at home with my family, and I've gone into, nurturer, teacher mode, more than, insane party animal mode, for sure.
Well, I was thinking for your own childhood, like growing up in Santa Monica, you've said yourself you're quite insane, and you like racing your cars, and you were a little bit of a divil, and you give your parents a hard time at times, I'm sure, but that sort of side of it, that there will be DNA involved in Sam and Thomas, that you may have to do a huge amount of nurturing to keep control.
Tame the beasts.
But is it part of your kind of maturing into that area of your life, reflected now in the movies you've chosen? When you think of Gulliver's Travels, you think of Kung Fu Panda, you think of the Muppets coming up.
Yeah.
That's sort of, well, Adam Sandler's gone there as well, really. Those sort of family movies that are, for everybody, not just a kind of cool, hip crowd that
It seems that way. Maybe I unconsciously went that way, but honestly, I feel like I would have done it anyway. Those were the movies that I wanted to make, regardless of whether I had kids or not. That's I was doing those things for kicks, for me. I've got some other movies coming up that are not kid movies. I did a movie with my old pal Rick Linklater called Bernie. That's a very dark, not for kids movie, and another one with Steve Martin about bird watching. It's a little more sophisticated, I guess you would say.
But that great kind of a struggle all the way through history, that great comedians and great comic actors, taking on drama, and you've sort of tapped into other roles along the way with King Kong, and sort of softer roles that would be more kind of taking on a different sort of persona. I mean, is that something that you give much thought to? Or do you think, well, if I enjoy the script and I enjoy the people that I'm going to work with, that's all that matters?
Yeah, I pretty much just go with the most interesting filmmakers, whether it's comedy or drama. I just want to work with people that are inspired, and that's what gets me going.
Good plan.
Yeah.
I was thinking, young Poe, a lot of it's made of his unathletic physique, and I think from Roscoe Arbuckle to Zach Galifianakis, from John Belushi to Jack Black, there's a sort of belief in comedy that being a little bit chubby is funny. And I don't know whether for you, like Kim Kardashian has to keep a hold of that big ass, and maybe Carrot Top has to keep his hair red, whether the side of you think, well, I'm not going to ever kind of completely slim down and do the buff thing, because it's sort of part of who I am and part of what people think of me.
Yeah, that's why I am what I am. It's by design. I'm not trying to lose weight. No, I'd like to drop a couple pounds, but dude, I'm so hungry all the time. It's a real problem.
People can't see the chickens behind you.
I don't care. I don't care if I lost some business. I'd like to just to live longer. I'd like to drop a couple lbs, but yeah, it's a constant struggle.
Now that you got kids and the family life and all that, it becomes even harder.
Part of me is like, forget it, man. I'm just gonna embrace the fatness and go crazy, and go for 300 pounds.
I should ask.
I think that would be a short life. Yeah.
With your other kind of work now, I know I have that album at home actually, Ramblin' Boy, the Charlie Hayden album from 2008 that you sing Old Jack. What's the song? Old Jack let me sing.
Yeah.
Old Jack Clark. Yeah, you sing that. But that side of the music side of it, is that something that you're still very kind of actively?
Joe Clark, right?
That's it. Yes.
Fare thee well, old Joe Clark.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But is the music side of it a big thing? I don't know whether Tenacious D is something that you feel, well, an obligation that you always want to do something with them, but outside of that, again, I don't know whether there'd be other kind of avenues you'd like to go down, because that was a little bit different for you.
Yeah, music is a huge part of my world, and kind of the wellspring from where my whole career got going. It wasn't until Tenacious D that I really got any traction in the biz, and it's definitely where my passions lie. Working on a new album with Kyle right now. We're in the studio last week, about 3/4 of the way done, and I think about other music projects that I'd like to do. I'd like to do a musical someday, maybe on the West End.
Sounds good. Spider-Man, not too late to go for the Spider-Man role. They seem to be always struggling for the lead.
No, thank you.
That could be a moment.
It's a little dangerous.
Rock and roll. I'm gonna give him the finger. Nice to talk to you, son.
Thanks.